give Coach Sampson and his staff and his team a ton of credit. That was a good old-fashioned tail whipping. There's a reason they are who they are, and it starts with their level of physicality and their ability to do simple things at an incredibly high rate of physicality and attention to detail, and they can repeat those things over and over and over again. And so give them a lot of credit. I didn't think we played very well. I didn't think we had a great start, but they had a lot to do with that. And, I liked how we stayed together as a group. But, again, I didn't think our fight and our toughness and our defensive execution on top of – you can't do both. You can't, miss some open threes, miss some bunnies, miss free throws, and then, not defend at a high enough level to kind of keep yourself in the game. So give them a lot of credit. Thought they were great tonight. And with that, I can open up questions.
Coach, is what they do difficult to replicate in practice to prepare for it?
Yeah. I mean, again, you can walk through, their monster double of the post and the aggression that they have in their ball screen coverage defensively, but it's hard to simulate. It's hard to simulate Tugler's length and activity and the physicality with which they do it with. And they do a great job rotating. Their closeouts are very disciplined. Very rarely do they take shot fakes. And there's just a consistency, again, and a repetitive nature of their ability to rotate, close out, guard the ball, keep the ball out of the paint, and not let you get the ball close to the basket. And we were able to make a couple, make enough three-point shots there at the end of the first half early. Second half to at least cut it to 12 or 13, but our inability to finish the ball close to the basket, and they have a lot to do with that.
Anything else?
That start was 25-5. How do they limit the shots you guys have been getting and normally getting?
Yeah, again, I have to go back and look at it, and again, that's part of what elite defenses do. They make it so hard on you to get quality looks. Then when you do get a couple quality looks, you feel the squeeze and you don't get them to go down. And so I thought during that stretch, we actually were able to turn the corner a couple times and short arm some layups around the basket. You go to the foul line, you miss 2 free throws, and then even Honor had a couple fairly clean looks, in that stretch. And it's, it was 33-18 at the half. If you, make 1 3, make those 2 free throws and make a layup, now it's 33-24, 33-25, and it feels a little different. When you don't get off to the good start, then you kind of start feeling the squeeze. And again, that's what elite defenses do to you, and again, when you do get an open look, you're kind of almost surprised or you rush it a little bit and you miss it. So, again, you got to give them a lot of credit, their physicality, the intensity, and then, on our end, when you do have a couple of plays to make early to kind of like settle the game and settle everybody into it, you got to make those plays, and we didn't make them.
LaRon Perone, Coug Radio. Coach, Milos had 17 points today and 5 3-pointers. What was the game plan going in today for the guards, and what did you see from Milos tonight?
Yeah, I thought, they're again, there's a reason, why they are who they are, and those, 3 guards are all very elite players, and they're a handful to keep out of the paint, and then, you have to kind of, you want to show gray jerseys. We were in gray tonight, so you want them to see bodies, but I didn't think we got out quick enough. And then to Milos's credit, he made a couple difficult ones, got a couple easy ones to go in early, and then he made the one where he shot faked and sidestepped it and made a couple late shot clock plays. And, that's what you would expect from a from a senior guard that's, played in the national championship game. And, I thought at times we did a good job of getting them contested and keeping the ball out of the paint. And then there were a couple that were just a little too easy. Then when a great player sees a couple go in, then they start making the difficult ones.
Any other questions?
Coach, what do you want your players to take from this game?
Yeah, I thought, again, I thought our togetherness was good. Even in the midst of a difficult game and difficult stretches, I thought our communication during huddles and timeouts was good enough. And you want to get to the, what you would like to get from a visual standpoint is if someone was just watching your team play, they wouldn't know if you were up or down just by judging your body language, your tight huddles and free throws, your collective togetherness. I thought that was good enough. Like I said, I just didn't think the 5 guys that were actually in the game, I didn't think our fight and our execution and even maybe a little bit of, belief, which starts with myself, that to come in here and win, is obviously very difficult to do. And you got to have multiple guys play very well, and we just didn't. And again, that's life in the Big 12. You get and again, that's what, in my opinion, makes what Coach Sampson and his staff and his players in this program has done is the consistency with which they show up night in, night out, and find ways to win regardless. They have a big win on Saturday at Baylor, and then they're able to replicate that time in, time out, and again, you look at some other teams, ourselves included, maybe you get a big win, and then you got to come out and do it again against another great team. And, again, you just saw the difference in like physicality and execution really from the jump.
Coach, thank you.
Thank y'all.